Yes.
First of all, just what is Angular? Angular is UI development framework to develop the dynamic web applications. So as well as we can also develop mobile applications. So first of all, if you take any web application, we are usually writing two types of coding here. One is client side code, another one is server side code. So here in web applications, so we are every web application contains two types of coding. One is client side code, another one is server side code. Now here, what is client side code and what is server side code? Those things we are going to discuss now. For example, if you open any website like Facebook or Gmail or any web application, so in browser some code will execute. So example, validations. Validations comes under client side coding. Yes, the code is executing in browser. Next one, so animations. Animations comes under client side coding. And if you take these web applications, image sliders, and many things what are running in the browser, we can call it as client side coding. So to develop this client side coding, initially we used to work with JavaScript. Later on, many related technologies are introduced. So those are nothing but Angular, next one jQuery, etc. These type of technologies are introduced here. So means what is Angular? What we can do in Angular by using Angular, we can develop client-side applications. Now, what is server-side application? That is also I will give you some idea about this. Server-side applications means server-side coding is nothing but which is executing in web server. For example, you're opening Gmail or Facebook. So that Facebook homepage is loading into your system, right? So now here in your system, you are using browser. In browser, some code is executing. That code we are writing with the help of JavaScript. So here in this Facebook page, username, password, these text boxes are available, right? So when you enter the username, password and click on the login button, this username, password is going to the server. And in server, it is taking with database. In that point of view, we are taking the support of server-side script. Means here, so just if you take an example, login form as an example, in this login form, so username, password, text boxes are there. When user click on the login button, you have to validate that username, password, or email, text box, password, text box, valid data or invalid data. Means format is correct or not, and the text box is empty or not. These type of validations you have to perform. So these validations where we are performing client mission or server mission in client mission. In this point of view, we are working with client side code, that is nothing but initially JavaScript we are using, and now we are working with Angular. So once user click on the login button, fine, everything is okay. User enter the proper email ID and he entered the password. What the next level is username password we have to send to server, because username passwords everything storing in database, centralized database.
Sir, could you please put the participants on mute because the noise is coming?
One second. Okay, fine. Now here, so in this login form, if you take example login form, in this login form, what are the phrases we are using? So first of all, design login form. Yes. After that, validate that login form. Yes. First, we have to design the login form. Later, validate the login form. Next one, send data to server. Yes, and the next one we have to check with server database whether valid user or invalid. And display welcome page or invalid page. These are the common steps if you take login form. Not only login form, registration form also if you take, first we have to design that form. After that, we have to validate all controls are valid or invalid. After that, we have to send the data to server. And here instead of checking, we are storing in database. After that, whether it is stored or not, that the result we have to receive, and we have to display message just registration successful, like that. So every concept if you take, these are the common steps for every concept in the web applications. If you take Facebook, Gmail, or any application, these are common steps. Now here, first of all, you want to design the form. In this point of, we are using HTML, CSS, this type of technologies. And now here you want to validate. In this point of view, JavaScript we are using. Yes, so here we are using JavaScript. And send the data to server. From browser, we have to send username, password is valid. These two text box values into server. So there we are using Ajax technology, that is also we are using with JavaScript. Yes. So once you send the data to server, then you have to check to connect with the database, and we have to check whether it is valid or invalid. In this point, we are using server-side scripts. So different types of server-side scripts are available: ASP and JSP servlets or Node.js, like that. We have to use the server-side scripts. After that, receive the result and navigate to welcome page or invalid page. So in this point of view also we are taking the support of, just let me delete this point. Yeah. So here, navigation point of view, I want to navigate to another page. There also we are taking the support of JavaScript. After checking is completed, then with the result data, we are navigating to another page. In this point of view also we are taking the support of JavaScript. Means one concept if you take, in this single concept, JavaScript we are using in 3 different locations if you observe here. Like that, in every concept, so client-side coding is very important. So this client-side coding, we use it to work with JavaScript, but these days we are working with Angular. And other technologies also there here, jQuery and Backbone JS, like the different technologies are there. But what is the specialty in this Angular compared with other technologies? Those things we are going to discuss now. Okay. So now here, I think you got clarity about client side script as well as server side script. Yeah. So here, client side script. Okay. If you take JavaScript, it is client side script. First of all, one question is there, why we are calling JavaScript as client side script? That is the main question. Yes. So because this JavaScript is executing in browser. Who is using browser? Client is using browser. Okay. So that's why we are calling it as client side script. If you open the Facebook, so you are using one browser. Once Facebook application is downloaded into your browser, that front page, home page, or whatever it may be, so you will become as client of the Facebook. In that Facebook, the developers, if they implemented JavaScript, that JavaScript original code is downloading into your browser and it is executing in your browser. So you are the client of Facebook. So JavaScript is executing in your system. That's why we are calling it as client side script. Getting? So now here, next one, server side script. So ASP, JSP, all this comes under server side scripts. These scripts are executing in web server, not in web browser. So simple point, client side scripts are executing in which location? Web browser. And server side scripts are executing where? Web server. right? Now here, what is Angular? Angular is client-side script or server-side script? I think you already got some idea. Yes, it is nothing but here client-side script. Angular is nothing but client-side script executes in browser. So here, instead of JavaScript, so nowadays every company is using Angular. So what are the benefits we have in this Angular compared with JavaScript? Those things we are going to discuss now. So Angular is the framework to develop client-side logics. Okay, it is maintained by Google Corporation. So it has different versions. So those versions differences we have to discuss, because here Angular 1.0 and 2.0, lots of differences are there. So these differences, everything I will discuss later. First of all, so what are the advantages we have in this Angular compared with JavaScript? Those things we are going to discuss now. Okay, now here, now come to this point here. Angular. So Angular is client-side script. We can do with the operations of JavaScript. First of all, what we can do with JavaScript, that we are going to discuss now. Yes, JavaScript if you take. So generally where we are using this JavaScript. Yeah, first point, for dynamic, okay, functionalities. JavaScript we are using to apply dynamic functionalities on the web browser. What is the meaning of dynamic functionalities? Yeah, dynamic functionality means changing the properties of controls at runtime. Changing the properties of controls at runtime, we can call it as dynamic functionalities. So for this, I will show you one example, then you will get the clarity. So I am creating one HTML page now. Just open one more edit plus here. Save this file, demo.html. My requirement is, see this. So in my desktop, I have one image, apple.jpg. Okay, that image I want to display. So just I'm using img source is equal to apple.jpg and width is equal to 100 pixels. So this is demo.html file. In this file, I'm displaying one image. What is that? Apple.jpg. Now here, open that demo.html file which is created on the desktop. Yes. Now here you can see this is demo.html. Open this one. This is apple.jpg. So is this static image or dynamic image? Yes, this is static image. Static means, so that image looks like that only. There is no change in this image point of view. So here, just it after 1 minute or after 1 hour, it looks like this only. But my requirement is I want to convert the static image as dynamic image. Means I want to change the properties of this image at runtime. Right now, this is runtime. So if you observe here, design time I have given apple.jpg. So that's why in runtime it displays apple.jpg. Fine. So now it is static image. My requirement, what is my requirement now? When I click on this image here, I want to convert into another image. Means I want to change the source property. What the source I have given here? Apple.jpg. And when I click on the image control, I want to change it as some other image. Means runtime, when user click on this control, you want to change the source. In this point of view, we are taking the support of JavaScript. Got it? Now, same coding I'm writing. Now you can see here, we have one more image, mango.jpg in the same location, desktop location. Now here, what is your requirement? So when user click on this image control, you want to change apple as mango. So now here I am writing some script. Just see the output. Don't try to understand this coding. I will discuss everything in Angular. So just I'm writing JavaScript code now. So JavaScript source is equal to mango.jpg. I have given like this. Yes, now if you observe this one, So here, this script I have written here, JavaScript code. I'm changing the source when I click on the image control. Now refresh this. Yeah, right now it is apple.jpg. When I click on this one, now what is happened? Dynamically, image is changed to mango.jpg. These type of dynamic functionalities you want to apply on HTML controls. Then we are taking the support of JavaScript. Yes, what is the meaning of dynamic functionality? Changing the properties of control at runtime. So now this is runtime. In this runtime, which property I changed? Source property. What the original source apple, that we changed it as mango.jpg. Like that, every control. For example, here I want to take one button control. Input type is equal to button, value is equal to, just save this, refresh. Now one button is there. What the text on this button, what the value I've given? Click me. Now when I move the mouse over this, then I want to change the text as don't click me. And getting that, when I move mouse over this, I want to change this text as don't click me. Then here some events are available: on click, on mouse over. All these events we'll discuss. Just I'm directly using now to show you what is JavaScript. Understanding, later I will discuss each and every event. Now here, just which property we have to change? Value property we have to change. Now here I'm using JavaScript colon value is equal to, just don't refresh. See, so when I move mouse on the control, then I'm using JavaScript to change the value, that is don't click me. Now when I move mouse over this, then what the text we are getting? Don't click me. Means at runtime we are changing which property? Value property of the button control. And here if I click, yes, so in this control, which property we change it? Source property. Like that, every control properties we can change at runtime with the help of JavaScript. That's the first point I told you here. So by using JavaScript, we can apply dynamic functionalities. Next one, second point, we can validate controls by using JavaScript, whether that control is empty or not, and password, retype password, okay, these are matching or not, these type of validations. And we can execute some code by using JavaScript. But this code is executing which location? Browser or server? Yes, it is executing in browser. Yes, for example, server-side scripts, if you take like JSP, ASP, these scripts are executing which location? Server machine. And here, if you take the JavaScript, JavaScript is executing in browser machine. So here, one example I will discuss. Okay, calculator program if you take. So I want to develop the calculator program. In this calculator program, we are displaying some numbers. User will enter numbers and he will click on the operators like plus, minus, etc. So here that calculator program we can develop by using JavaScript, or we can also use any server-side scripts like JSP, PHP, Node, etc. Now here, assume that that calculator program you developed by using JavaScript. Then if whenever user click on the buttons and plus operator, these things, that entire code is executing in which machine? Browser machine or server machine? In browser machine, right? So the same code you developed by using any server-side script. Then what is happening? For every button click, request will go to the server. Their code is executing and output is coming back to browser. So here, if it is JavaScript, in client system directly that code is executing. That's why immediately can see the result. But if you write the same code by using server-side scripts, then every time through internet the request is going to the server and there it is processing and response is coming back to browser. It takes some time to complete this round trip. That's why most of the logics we are developing by using JavaScript only. In web applications, most of the logics we can develop by using JavaScript, because the result of JavaScript is very faster than the result of server-side scripts. So mostly server-side scripts where we are using to connect with the database of the application, web application, and to create the sessions. In this point of we are working with server-side script. Remaining all point of views we are working with JavaScript. Is it clear? So that is the main advantage of JavaScript. So that's why. So these days, for every application, client-side coding is very important. That client-side coding initially we use it to work with JavaScript. Later we used Angular JS, and currently we are using Angular. Understanding? Now here some diversion we got now. Again, I told you two technical words here. One is AngularJS, another one is Angular. Now, entire current industry is running with Angular. So first, we should get clarity. What is AngularJS and what is Angular? That clarity should be there. Okay. So just I have given introduction about JavaScript, and now we are going to discuss what is AngularJS and what is Angular. These things we will discuss. After that, I will explain the concepts based on Angular. Here we are covering up to version 8. Yes, fine. So here Angular is the framework to develop client-side applications. So it is nothing but the alternative for JavaScript, we can say here. And what about this AngularJS, that we will discuss now. Okay, I think you guys clear with these points till now which we discussed. So you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Any queries you have, guys? Tell me. Yes, we can run Angular on Node server because here mean stack project, if you take here the mean stack applications, we are working with Node server. Okay, and there we are using Angular. So how to run the Angular with Node server, that I will show you. Yes, and I will explain the differences between Angular 8 and 9 also. One person asked me what are the major differences. All these differences we will discuss. First, we should have idea on these differences between 1, 2, 3, like that. All version differences I will explain to you. Yes. Any other queries? I am unmute all. You can ask me directly.
Oh, sir.
AngularJS, one second. Ram Prakash. So Ram Prakash asked me, is AngularJS still working, still using in companies? No, everyone is working with Angular only. Is it clear? Everyone is working with Angular. Most of the companies these days work with Angular. If already the project is developed in AngularJS, okay, for migration means for updates they are using AngularJS, but most of the new applications working with Angular only. Yes, next.
Sir, what is the difference between Angular 8 and Angular 9?
So those differences, everything we'll discuss, because first we should have idea on the concepts of Angular 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Then you can easily understand what are the major updates in this Angular 9. Because we don't have, if you don't have in single page application, they introduce a cross routing in Angular 9. Okay, first what is single page application? Okay, what is routing concept? If you get clarity, then what is the cross routing, we can easily understand. Like that, first we should have idea on the clarity on this concept, then you can easily understand the differences between the versions. Okay,
Okay.
so please tell the difference between Node and Angular. So Node.js is server side script. So Angular is the client side script. So this Angular is executing in browser, and Node is executing in server mission with the help of Node server. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, we can run Angular on Node server and by ng build. So any performance issues in the our code process?
Come again. Come again.
We can run an Angular program by using a Node server or by using ng build. We can deploy the HTML file to the server. So it
Yeah,
is two
it depends.
approaches.
You see,
Which is best?
the first point is Angular is client side script, right? I told you Angular is client side script. It executes with the help of browser.
Yes.
It is not, execution is not depending on the server. Got it? So in this point of why we are using server to send the request, to receive the request and send the response, but code is executed with the help of browser only. One object is creating, that object is deploying into browser, here it is executing. So that's why Angular supports any type of server, not only Node. We can run the Angular application by using Apache server, Tomcat server, or any other server. So here most of the companies running the projects by using Node server. It is not depending upon the server because Angular is not server-side script. You got it? Yes.
We don't get any benefit if we're using a Node server to run our application.
No, no, no. So if you are developing mean stack project, right? In this mean stack project, what is the server-side code we are using? Node. So then compulsory you have to use Node server. If you are working with full stack project, in that full stack project, front end is Angular, but server side is HP. Then we have to work with Apache. Understanding?
Okay.
So there is no special advantage to use Node or Apache in Angular point of view. For example, you are working with full stack application, but server side is ASP. Then you have to use IAS server. Like that, servers we are choosing depend on the server side scripts, not based on the client side script. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah, hi sir. We have already a lot of front-end technologies like uh, JavaScript and jQuery and HTML. So what is
HTML
yeah? So
differences.
not differences.
Yeah.
What is the why we are going to Angular? Is there any specific reasons like performance related or any kind of
Okay. Okay. I will tell you. First of all, see. Uh, see my screen. HTML you told just now. HTML is client side script. Okay. So temporarily I'm going to unmute all because you are getting voice now. HTML is client side script, and here CSS is also client side script, and JavaScript also client side script. But here HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so these technologies purpose is different. Why we are using HTML? To place web controls. Yes, HTML is providing number of tags. Okay, by using these tags we can place the web controls. Like just now I placed one image control. Like that we can place button control and text box control. These all controls we are placing with the help of HTML. So there is no other technology to display the controls on web browser. Only HTML we are using to display the controls. Fine. Now come to this CSS. CSS we are using to apply styles on the HTML controls. For example, this image borders I want to apply. Okay, or this image shadows I want to apply, or button text color I want to change. In that point of we are taking the support of CSS. So that's why HTML purpose is different, CSS purpose is different. HTML purpose is nothing but to place the controls, CSS to apply the styles. Now what is JavaScript? JavaScript main purpose is to write the logics. Yes, in web applications as well as mobile applications. Okay, we are using JavaScript to write the logics, but these logics are executing where? In browser. Yes, with HTML we can't write any logics. With CSS we can't write any logics. Only technology JavaScript we are using to write the logics. Those logics are executing in browser, in client system. Okay, so for example, so client image means in browser image. Okay, image the source you want to update, just which we have seen just now, or you want to apply the animations on the controls. or you want to validate the controls. In this point of we are using JavaScript. Like that, if you take here, yeah, JSP or PHP or Node, these are also for what purpose? Same logics purpose only, same logics. But these logics are executed where? In server machine, web server. So in web server, for example, Facebook, if you take, Facebook database is located where? In your browser or server? In web server. So here when user click on the login button, we have to check that credentials, username, password, valid or invalid. So that time we are connecting with the server database. In this point of we are working with this server side scripts here like JSP, PHP, Node, etc. Is it clear? So that's why HTML, CSS, JavaScript, these three technologies purpose is different. So HTML is not for logics, only to display the contours. CSS is for styles, but logics we are using JavaScript, that to client side, and server side logics we are writing with the help of JSP, PHP, like that. Now come to the next level. JavaScript related many libraries are there like jQuery, yes, AngularJS. This is not library. And the next one, Angular, and here next one here Vue.js, no, and Backbone.js, like that. Different types of libraries and frameworks are there. Okay, now here if you take jQuery is library, AngularJS is framework, Angular is also framework, like that. Backbone library is there. So like the different types of libraries and frameworks are there. So first we should have idea what is the difference between library and framework. Are you getting that? Yes. What is the main difference between library and framework? Both providing functionalities. Library is providing functionalities, framework also providing functionalities. But framework functionalities we can customize according to the requirement. Library functionalities we can use as it is, but we want to customize, it is not possible. For example, if you take AngularJS and Angular, so these technologies providing so some services, some directives, like that. I will explain what is service, what is directive, everything. So number of predefined services are available, number of predefined directives are available. So we can use all these things, and we want to create new services as possible in this framework. We want to create new directives as possible, like that. Everything we can customize based on the requirement frameworks, but libraries it is not possible. Is it clear? So that's why here so many persons are working with frameworks only, because those are very flexible for coding as well as customization. So example, if you take Java, if you take Java related frameworks are there, like something Spring, Hibernate, like that. So most of the companies work with frameworks like that. Python, if you take Python related framework is there, Django. So like that, here frameworks are very useful for short coding as well as customization. So in this point of view, most of the companies working with this AngularJS and Angular, because these are frameworks. Frameworks of which technology? So actually JavaScript. And if you take AngularJS is the framework of JavaScript, but Angular, if you take, it is framework of TypeScript. So I will discuss the differences later. Okay, what is why they converted that AngularJS as Angular, and why they use it TypeScript. Those things I will discuss later. Just here you should get clarity. So what is the benefit compared with libraries and frameworks? Okay, frameworks are very simple coding, and those are customizable components it is providing. That's why most of the companies working with these frameworks, right? Okay, now you can ask me your queries.
Oh, sir, that's correct. Yeah. So, generally,
You got idea
what?
now? You got idea?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Tell me.
So, generally, from front end, what kind of logic we will implement in real time?
Yeah,
Like
actually,
if we take, uh, yeah, generally, if we take in login, so generally we are
yeah.
giving
Just now, yes, yeah. See, I told you, for example, login only. I told you just now. Login point of view or registration point or any concept, if you take, different phases are there. I told you one is designing, next one validations, next one sending data to server. Next one, just check username, password valid or invalid. Yes. Next one, just 1 second. Redirect to welcome page or any invalid user, I mean invalid login page. Okay. Now here, if you take login concept only, designing is there. First, we have to design the login form by using text boxes. Just I told you what the technologies we are using: HTML, CSS. Now we have to validate whether the text box is empty or not, and it contains any format mismatch format like that. In this point of, we are using client-side script. It is nothing but here old days we used to work with JavaScript, but these days we are using Angular, because in JavaScript we have to write lengthy coding, but Angular predefined validators are available. Yes. Now sending the data to server. In this point we are taking the support of Ajax. By using Ajax only, we are sending the data from browser to means client system to server. What data we are sending? Username, password, this text box values we are sending to browser. So here in this point we are taking the support of Ajax. Ajax also it is belongs to JavaScript, and but these days we are using Angular in this point of view, because by using JavaScript you want to create Ajax object, you have to write minimum 8 lines of coding. But same Angular, if you take here, one service is available to create the Ajax object and to send the data to the server. And here one point we should remember: before sending the data from browser to server, when the data is transferring through the protocol HTTP client, then there server side program or from the browser to server, we have to encrypt the data. Because here hackers, what they will do, they will enter into the network protocols and they will hack the data which we are transferring from browser to server. Yes, mostly from where hackers are getting the information, they don't get the data from server and they don't get the data from client system. So in between client and server, when the data is transferring through the protocols, HTTP protocols, they will enter into the protocols and they will hack the data which is transferring. So that's why before sending the data from browser to server, we have to encrypt the data. But JavaScript is not providing that much tight encryption. Angular is providing encryption functionalities like secure hash algorithms are there, message digest 5 is there. Those are all complicated sign encryptions. So that type of help is there with this Angular. So in this point of view also, we are taking the support of client side script. So later, once the username password is transferred to server, then we have to check. So in this point of, we are taking the support of server side script. Yes. So in the server side script, we are connecting with the database by using JSP or PHP or any other technologies, and we are validating. Once the username password is correct, then that server side programmer from that API service, actual server side programmers are creating API services. They're receiving the username password from Angular programmer and they're connecting with the database. And if it is valid, that username password, they're sending one success value to the Angular programmer. Otherwise, they're sending failure value to the Angular programmer. So in this point of view, server-side programmer is creating one API. That API we are calling with the help of HTTP client. So once we got the data, written data, then what the next step here? We have to navigate to other page or redirect to other page. So that is welcome page or invalid page. In this point of also we are taking the support of either JavaScript, but nowadays in Angular, routing concept is there. We can call it a single page application. So by using that single page application, we can easily navigation to other page. Like that here, for every concept in many locations, we are working with client side script. Nowadays, all companies using Angular in this client side point of view. So that is the main. So if you take example with login, like that, if you go for the next level, so here means role based authentication is there. For example, okay, so administration login is there and normal user login is there. For administrator, I want to provide accessibility of some components. For normal user, I want to provide accessibility of very few components. In this point of view, in browser level only we have to restrict. So to access the components accessibility, if we log in with admin account, we have to allow components accessibility, all components accessibility. If we log in with user login, so we have to allow very few components accessibility. So for that in Angular, so router guards concept is there. Okay, that router guards we are using to provide these type of restrictions. But if you take JavaScript, in JavaScript, these type of concepts are not there. So then we have to create one log file. There we have to maintain these details, everything. That is very complex procedure. But Angular is providing so router guards like that. Many advanced concepts are there. So that's why most of the companies working with this Angular. Just here I told you 1 or 2 points, right? So but here many advantages, many advanced functionalities in this Angular available. Okay, so like that, if you take simple login form, in many locations we are using client-side scripts. So these days, all these client-side scripts we are doing with Angular. Yes. Yeah. Now you can ask me your queries.
One question I have. In this course, we are going to discuss about the JavaScript engine.
Actually, here, yeah, that I will give you on clarity. So Angular JS. So version 1.0. Yes, this is the first version. Actual release in 2010. So what is Angular JS? Framework of JavaScript. So framework means the next level technology of original technology. For example, if you take Python, yes. So Django is the framework of Python. If you take Java, so here Spring Hibernate. Like that for JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript. What the framework we have? Angular JS. Is it clear? Now here version. This is 1.0 now. So from 2.0 onwards, which is released in 2016. So we are not calling as AngularJS, we are calling as Angular. So there is no JS here. Why? Because here to develop the packages in AngularJS, they used JavaScript. But to develop the packages of Angular, they used TypeScript. What is that? TypeScript, not JavaScript. Means here the difference between AngularJS and Angular, major difference is AngularJS libraries means those packages implemented by using JavaScript, but Angular packages are implemented in TypeScript. So that's why if anybody asks you what is AngularJS, you should answer it is the framework of JavaScript. If they ask you what is Angular, then your answer would be framework of TypeScript. Yes. Now here from 2.0 onwards, 3 which is stopped by Google, and next one 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 which is recently released in this last November. So all these are nothing but Angular versions and framework of TypeScript. So that's why we must have idea on this TypeScript to understand the concepts of Angular. So that's why initially I will start with TypeScript only. So initially, so 10 days or 1 week, we are discussing the TypeScript concepts. In this TypeScript, many concepts are there. So in order to work with the Angular, you must have idea on this TypeScript. So if you want to work with AngularJS, you must have idea on the JavaScript, because AngularJS is the framework of JavaScript. So Angular is the framework of TypeScript. Now I will explain you later why they use a TypeScript in this 2.0 onwards, why they are not using JavaScript. So what are the benefits we have in this TypeScript compared with JavaScript? These are all things we will discuss one by one. Is it clear? So our sessions are based on Angular, not AngularJS. Up to 8 version we are discussing, and nowadays no one is using this old version 1.0, that is AngularJS. Everyone is working with Angular 6, 7 and 8 versions. Okay, so we are discussing all these versions. At the time of discussion only, I will explain you what are the updates we have in 3.0 compared to 2.0 and 4.0 compared with 3.0, like that. Each and every version updates also will discuss here. Got it? Yes. Any queries you have?
Currently, sir, I'm working on server-side technologies like Java applications. Is it okay to
Yeah,
attend this?
JSP servlets. See, these days Every server-side programmer must have idea on this UI technology. Yes, because upload your resume and JSP. Out of 10 calls, definitely 8 calls they're asking you have idea on this Angular or not, right? Yes. So here, if you know Java, then you will become as only server-side programmer. If you know Angular, then you will become as full stack programmer. Understanding?
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
compulsory these days. Everyone has idea on this front-end technologies. Yeah, tell me.
If I want to learn Angular, do I need any prerequisites for this course?
Yeah, I told you just now. For that, TypeScript is very important for us. That 100% TypeScript we will discuss here. How to complete TypeScript and along with the TypeScript, okay, we will discuss JavaScript also, because here for development we must have idea on TypeScript, but interview point of view, okay, so still they are asking questions based on JavaScript. Okay, in JavaScript closures concept they're asking, in JavaScript prototypes they're asking, hosting they're asking, and in JavaScript how to get a class object they're asking. Like that, many concepts they're asking in interview point of view. That's why here I will explain JavaScript as well as TypeScript. You, from your side, no need to have any prerequisites, because everything we are covering here. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Got it.
Sir, we'll discuss about JavaScript engine in this course.
JavaScript, complete JavaScript also I will explain to you. TypeScript, JavaScript, and MongoDB interaction. Yes, and mean stack also will discuss, but not complete mean stack. Initially, I'm telling this point. Okay, mean stack in this point of view, what we'll discuss, I will tell you. Yeah, in this mean stack, just from Angular to server side, that is Node APIs. So here we will discuss connect with Node APIs from Angular to server. So here, if you have idea on Java, then instead of Node API, you can create Java APIs. Or if you have idea on .NET, you can create .NET APIs. Those APIs you can connect in the same manner. So I will explain how to connect with Node API. Okay. So in that Node API programming, you have to convert into Java .NET based on the required technology. So connectivity is same. We are using HTTP client object. Yes. So by using that HTTP client object, we are connecting the API services. So in this point, we will discuss MongoDB also. Okay. So MongoDB. So how to connect with the database and how to pass the data into the database and how to work with the CRUD operations. Okay. So these things we will cover in mean point of view, not complete mean stack. But here, yeah, we will discuss JavaScript completely and TypeScript completely, and Angular we are covering from 2 to 8. These are the topics we are going to discuss here. Yes, and here some third party libraries also we are discussing here. So just nothing but here charts, okay, bar chart and pie chart, how to create the charts, all these things. Okay, and here next one we will discuss jQuery. Okay, how to connect with the jQuery and how to work with the animations by using jQuery. Those things also we'll discuss. And next one, how to work with the Bootstrap. Okay, that Bootstrap concept also we'll discuss. And next one here, how to run Angular application by using Node server and Apache server. Those things we'll discuss, and how to deploy the project, Angular project in external servers like GoDaddy or HostGator. Topics also we are covering here. So means from start to end, everything we are covering here. And in interview point of view, so we are discussing JavaScript Okay, complete JavaScript I will tell you. And the development point of view, to work with the Angular access the Angular package, everything we should have TypeScript idea. So complete TypeScript we are discussing here. And some part of mean stack also I'm covering up to cloud operations and some third party libraries in Angular. We have different types of Angular third party libraries here, like to create the charts. And next one here, ng libraries, separate libraries are there. So here, next one here, to connect with the jQuery, how to access the jQuery, how to install the jQuery library in Angular application. And Bootstrap also very important for us, how to call the Bootstraps classes, everything. And finally, how to run with different servers and how to deploy and how to maintain the Git. Okay, so that is also very important. So these days, in our companies we are sharing the complete code in Git only. Through Git we are sharing the data, everything. Yes, these are the topics which we are covering here. Yes, any queries in this point of view?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, so we use TypeScript. So is there any alternative to this TypeScript, or this is the only language in which we will be giving behavior to the Angular code?
Yeah, for Angular they
Yeah.
already developed the packages with TypeScript. Got it?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So what is Angular? The framework of TypeScript. For example, you have
Okay.
any other technology idea on any other technology like Java or .NET, like that?
Yes, yes. Java.
Yeah. So here Java, if you take, so what are the frameworks of Java we have? Tell me.
Like Spring, we work
In
with
Spring, in Spring we are working with Java code or not?
Java code. Like for
Yeah.
Java, we use Spring. Yeah.
Yes. Like that for TypeScript we are using Angular. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why in these frameworks are providing predefined bundles. Okay, package bundles to simplify our coding. But
Okay.
you want to access those framework features, or you want to customize them, compulsory you should have idea on core technology. Yes or no?
Right.
Yeah, like that to work with Spring and Hibernate, we should have idea on Java. In the same manner to work with Angular, we should have idea on TypeScript.
TypeScript. Okay, sir.
Got
Thank
it? Yes.
you.
So now later I will explain you why they use a TypeScript in 2.0. In next session I will explain that one. So in Java 1.0, if you take, they develop the packages by using JavaScript. From 2.0 onwards, they use a TypeScript. Yes, means there may be some additional advantages we have in TypeScript. That's why they use the TypeScript. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Those advantages first I will cover. What the advantages we have in TypeScript compared with JavaScript. Actually, TypeScript is one of the client-side script developed by Microsoft Corporation. Yes. So from version 2.0 onwards, which is released in 2016, they use it TypeScript because of many advantages we have in this TypeScript compared with JavaScript. Those concepts first I will cover in next session. After that, what are the additional features we have in Angular compared with AngularJS? Those things we will discuss. Later, I will start the TypeScript. Then I will start the Angular programming. So finally, at middle session, we will discuss some JavaScript concepts also. Those are depending upon the interview, because most of the interviews they're asking questions on JavaScript also. And we will discuss MongoDB connectivities, everything. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other queries? Okay. Everyone clear? Now tell me, what is Angular? Is it framework of JavaScript or TypeScript?
TypeScript.
Very good. Angular is the framework of JavaScript. So by using Angular and AngularJS, we can write the client
Hello. Hello. Hello.
We lost audio. We're unable to listen.
Step. Are you getting my voice? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some small network issue. Okay. Please excuse. Okay. Fine. So what? Which concepts we discussed? Those concepts all of you clear, right?
Sir, will teach full Git features.
Sorry.
You are also telling about Git subversion. Hello.
I didn't get you.
You are also telling that you will also teach Git features, how to commit and all that.
Hello.
Sir, can you listen me?
Git. Try to use. Angular. These things one by one we will discuss. We will start from next session onwards. Next session I will discuss this differences JavaScript and TypeScript, and after that I will explain you the concepts differences between AngularJS and Angular, and we will start the TypeScript later, JavaScript. Actually, yes. Okay. So tomorrow the same timing. So session will start at 7 o'clock. And regarding this, any issues or fee structure, everything you can directly speak with management. You have the contact number, right? And directly speak with that management. Okay. So I'm closing the session now. Thank you. Thank you for everyone. Yeah.
So will material
Yeah, tell
be
me.
provided after every class?
Yeah, I will provide you soft copy. Yeah, I will provide you soft
And
copy and every
recorded videos.